Hey, what's up, Musers? This is John at Muse for You, here to help you build awesome websites without code. And in this video tutorial, I'm going to go over the update to the responsive Lightbox Gallery widget. It is now responsive Lightbox Gallery 1.4. And those of you who are part of the subscription, you've probably noticed a lot of updates with this widget, but I did want to make sure that this widget works really well. So there's a few updates that I'd like to go over with you, and also I'll be showcasing how to use the widget in this video tutorial. So here we have the Lightbox Gallery with the images. So I'll just click here on the images, and we can just go through and see the different images there. So for those of you who have seen it, you're familiar with the different functions of the Lightbox Gallery. We can autoplay, we can do full screen, we can zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, just like that. We can grab the image and just like that, and we can add a title and description there as well. And then we also have it for YouTube and Vimeo videos. So here's a Vimeo video. Build up page, and that's me talking. Then we have YouTube videos as well, and you can do full screen. Same with Vimeo, you can do full screen as well to expand. Now I'm going to show you just like that. Or how all right, that's me talking there. And you can autoplay, zoom in and zoom out as well, and a few different things here as well. Yeah, and let me just refresh it here because I just updated the site. But you can use the mouse wheel to go through the different images, the different videos there as well. So it's a very fun Lightbox gallery, and you can use HTML5 video. For HTML5, you can only have one gallery, up to 12 videos. But for images and YouTube and Vimeo videos, you can add as many videos as you'd like with the add-on widgets as well. So in this video tutorial, it might be fairly long, but I am going to go through all of the main points of the widget because I have had a lot of questions with this widget. So I just want to cover the main points. So you can have fun using it and really add a lot of styling to your website and a really fun Lightbox gallery to your website. So to access this widget, you simply go to museforyoushop.com, and here you can click on the pop-up, and here you can click subscribe to get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year. Or if you'd like to subscribe with PayPal, you can click here and subscribe with PayPal. The Lightbox Gallery is right here. The responsive Lightbox Gallery is here. And here, if you'd like to purchase individually, you can click Add to Cart. Or if you'd like to get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year, you can click here. If you did purchase individually and you would like the update, you can just get the update from the download link that was received when you first purchased. And if you don't see that link, let me know, and I would be happy to resend it to you. Here are the features included, and here is the updates in the latest version. So there were performance improvements, reintroduced the HTML5 video. There's the ability to have the captions stay at the bottom of the Lightbox rather than the top of the thumbnails, so you can almost make them not visible. There's the ability to remove the full screen, zoom, and autoplay icons within the Lightbox. There's the ability to remove the counter within the Lightbox. There's the ability to scroll through images in the Lightbox with the mouse wheel, and there's updated code within the widget. So those are the updates there. So I'll just go ahead and jump into Adobe Muse. Now for this tutorial, I'm going to go through the process that I like to use when compressing images or making images smaller, because you definitely don't want really large images on your website. Images that are over a megabyte can really slow down a website. So I try to keep it at around 500 kilobytes or less for my images. And the way I do that, I have a folder here with images. These are all from unsplash.com. If you haven't seen unsplash.com, it's a really great website, and they just have free commercial-free images that you can use, or you can use the images for whatever you'd like. Free, it says it here, free to whatever you want, high-resolution photos. And they just have amazing photos that you can use, for your website and everything. So I have a few images here, and the thing is, when you download Unsplash images, here I'm on a Mac. So if I right-click and open with, and click on Get Info, we can see that the size of the image is 4,288 pixels by 2,848 pixels. That's a really large image, and the size is 1.3 megabytes. So what I like to do before compressing my images or adding it to Adobe Muse, I like to resize the images. So I'm going to select all of these, just like this. I'm going to right click, open with, preview, and then I'm going to select here on the left, I'm going to select Command A, and this selects all the images on the left. So I can see all the images are selected. So here I'm going to go to Tools, Adjust Size. So I'll click there, and the largest I'm going to make these images is 248 pixels in width. Adobe Muse automatically resizes images to this size, and I'm actually not quite sure if it does it within the widgets, but if you place an image directly into Adobe Muse, it won't, and the image is larger than 2048 pixels in width, Adobe Muse automatically resizes it to 2048 pixels in width unless you ask it to import the larger size. So for myself, I like to just set it to this size. This will ensure that it looks good like on a 27-inch iMac. So that's usually the highest I'll go for the width. And then the height will automatically get adjusted. For resolution, I'll say 300, just to make sure that the image stays at a good quality. So that's it. So there I've resized the image, set the resolution, and here I'll click OK. And then it resizes all the images, and then I'll just hit Command S to save, and it'll save all the images at that size. Sometimes with the resolution, you can do a little bit more research on that. Sometimes it stays at 72 dpi. I myself don't notice the difference too much, but I do like to make sure that my images don't lose quality, so I leave it at 300 dpi resolution. All right, so there we go. You can do Command S or File Save to save the images. So I'll go back into the images, and we can already see, and I probably should have showcased this earlier, but some of the images were like 3 megabytes, 2 megabytes. We can still see that this one is 2.5 megabytes here in the size. So they're still fairly large, 372, 693, 1.7, 2.5 megabytes, 1.1 megabytes, 1.7 megabytes. That's still fairly large, even though I just resized all the images. And just as an example, I just opened up another folder here to show the original sizes. So we can see 2.2, 3.1 megabytes. This one here is 11.7 megabytes. That's really large for an image. So here 4.2 megabytes, 5.8 megabytes, 1.9 megabytes. Those are really large sizes for an image. So here I've already changed, reduced the size quite a bit. So the next step that I like to go through is compressing the images. So I'll go to a website called compress.jpeg.com. JPEG, you can do JPG or JPEG for compressed JPEG, and it is in the resource section below. So here I have the images, so I'm just gonna hold down Shift to select all of them, and then I'll click, hold, and drag and place into compressed JPEG. And we can see here it's compressing all of the images. Here it's reduced it by 53%, here 14%, 29%. So it's really great. It's just going through and compressing all of the images. And it tells you the percentage in which it's reduced: 46%, 38%. So depending on how many images you have, it'll either take longer or less time. 76% for the one that was 11, or this one 2.5 megabytes, it reduced it by 76%, which is quite a lot. All right, so there all the images are compressed. So here I'll click download all, and it'll download a zip file with all the compressed images. So I'll just go to that zip file. Okay, so here I've placed the zip file. I got it from the downloads folder. So I'll just double click, and then here I have the compressed images. And what's nice about it is that it adds this this additional text, min, at the end of the file name, which means that the file has been minified. So let's just look at some of the sizes. So we have 174 kilobytes, 598, 352, and so on. This one is still 1.4 megabytes, so I'd even consider not placing this image in the site because it's so large, or changing the size of the image. And then we have this one, which is 1.1 megabyte. So there's a few that are over a megabyte, but for the rest, they're around 300 kilobytes, which is good. All right, so those are the steps I'd like to take when compressing my images and changing the file size of the images. And what's great about the new update, in this latest update, and it was in the 1.3 update as well, you can now you can serve scaled thumbnail images. So these images don't have to be the initial thumbnail images when you first go to the website. So as an example, if I go back to the preview page here, we can see these images. You can serve these images as scaled thumbnail images. So this image here is actually different than this image here. This is the full size image, and these are cropped images that are even smaller, so that when a user first visits your website, the images don't take a long time to load, or they're really small, so there's not a lot of load time for the images. So after I've compressed the images, so what I'll do is I'll just select all of these images, or actually, no, I don't need to do that yet. So here I'm in the compressed images folder. So now I'll go to another website called berm.net, and here I can crop the image sizes. So for the thumbnails, for this example, I'm going to use thumbnails that are 300 pixels by 300 pixels in size. So I'll do 600 by 600, and that's just so I have a little bit of flexibility if I do want to make the thumbnails larger or smaller. I have that flexibility of knowing that they're not exactly 300 by 300 pixels. So here I want to resize and crop the images to 600 by 600. The quality, I want to say 100. I like nice quality images, and because they're already compressed, I don't really have to compress them more. All right, so here I'll grab all of these images and I'll click, hold, and drag and place them right in there. All right, so that we can see it cropped the images to 600 by 600. I'll go in here and I'm just going to create a folder called thumbnails. All right, and after it's been resized, it just takes a few seconds, you can click on Save Zip, and it'll download the zip file with the images. So I'll go ahead and get that zip file. All right, so that zip file is here, berm. It's in parentheses here because in the download I had a few other folders called berm. So it's berm4 here. So I'll place this in the thumbnails folder, double click, and now I have the thumbnails here in the berm folder. So let's look at the sizes now, 290, 263, 273, 251, 407. They're still a bit large, but they're smaller than the large images. So we can serve scaled thumbnail images. And if I really wanted to, I could go even smaller for the size, but 600 by 600 I find, for this example, yeah, I'll use 600 by 600. All right, and you can crop a line to, left for the x-axis and the y-axis. You can say left, center, or right. That would just kind of change the orientation a bit of the image within the cropped image here. So it's a really useful tool, and I'll leave this in the link description in the show more area below as well. All right, so now I have my cropped thumbnail images and I have my compressed images for the Lightbox. So I'll just go into Adobe Muse, I'll go into my library panel, and here I'll type in RLG. If you don't see the library panel, you can go to Window and click on Library. And here I'll place in the RLG add first, so I'll click, hold, and drag and place onto my Adobe Muse website. And the first example I'm going to show is the RLG images. So I'll click, hold, and drag and place right in there. So at first it's just 4 thumbnails. And the first thing I want to do is stretch it to the browser width. So I'll click on the widget, go to resize, click the drop down and say stretch to browser width. So there I have the thumbnails, they're wider. And then I can align thumbnails in the center. So I'll go to text and I'll select the align center in the text option here. So the thumbnails are now in the center. I know I want 12 images. So I'm going to click the drop down, select number of images. I'll say 12. And then for the thumbnail options, I want the thumbnail width to be 300 and the height to be 300 as well. So now I have thumbnails that are 300 by 300. And if I wanted the thumbnails to fit more within, or the width of the thumbnails to be less within the website, I could go to the thumbnails max width and say like 50%, and this should align all the thumbnails down the center. So you can reduce the width on the sides of the thumbnails. For this example, I'm going to say 100 because I want the thumbnails to fit the browser width. but you can change the thumbnail width within the browser by changing the max width here. All right, and you can change the thumbnail border a bit. For the border radius, you can't change it too much, but you can change it to have a little smoother corners on the edges here. All right, so there's the thumbnail options, and this is a newer update. It was also in the 1.3 update, but it's also in the 1.4. Here is the thumbnail images. So this allows you to serve scaled thumbnail images. So as an example, I'm just gonna go and preview this in the browser. So here we have the thumbnails. If I click, we don't see anything yet, obviously, because I haven't added any images, but these images here are thumbnail images. And when you click in here, thumbnail images will be down here as well, but it'll serve a larger image here when we add the image. So let me do that now so it's a bit more clear. So here in the thumbnail images, we went through the thumbnail options. So I'm going to add thumbnail image 1 through 12, and I'm going to add the images from the Berm website that we downloaded. So let me just find that real quick. Okay, so here's the folder, the images folder, and then I have the thumbnails folder, and we have the Berm folder here. So these are the thumbnails I'm going to add. So I'm just going to go through and add these thumbnails. I picked dessert because I like desserts, or desserts. If you watch Park and Recreation, you've probably seen that. All right, so we have these, and this one. This one is really large, so I might skip that one and just go through and add these here. All right, that last one was very large too, but we'll just do it for now. All right, so we're gonna see all the thumbnail images here. So just as an example, I'll preview in the browser. There we have the thumbnail images. If I click, we see the thumbnail images down here, but we don't see an image here, and that's because we need to add the larger images. And to do that, we just go into the image 1 through 12. So I'll click image 1, click add file, and now instead of going to the thumbnails, I'm gonna go through the compressed images. So I just went there, and I'll go ahead and add the images. All right, and I know a few of you have asked me, you know, how many images can you add? Some of you have added like hundreds of images because you can with the add-on, but just keep in mind that that does need to load within the browser. So I wouldn't recommend adding hundreds of images. Just keep it light and simple. It is a nice gallery, so if you just serve a few images, the user can have a nice experience of seeing a few images within a nice gallery. But I wouldn't add hundreds of images in one gallery. All right. So let me do 11. Oh, I think I already did that one. Yeah, 11 is this one, and 12 is this one here. Yep. All right, so there I've added all of the images. Looks good. So I'll preview in the browser, and I'll click, and there we have the Lightbox gallery. Looks nice. So it's serving the larger images here. Looks good. So you've probably noticed that the icons aren't there. So the next thing, and I probably should have done that earlier, but to add the icons, you just go to File, Add Files for Upload, and then you want to find the widget folder. So here's the widget folder, and here are the instructions for adding the icons. So you can take a look at that on how to add the icons. But to add the icons, yeah, you just go to File, Add Files for Upload, go to the widget folder, and then there's this fonts folder. And then you just select all 4 of these LG fonts here. Click Open, and that is it. And the other thing that's very important that I want to mention, and I've had a few questions about this, in the Add First widget, there's this tablet / mobile option. You only want to check this if you're working with adaptive design. If you're working with a single website or a website with breakpoints, you want to make sure this is not checked. Otherwise, the icons will not show for the Lightbox gallery. This is only if you're working in a tablet layout of your site or a mobile layout of your site. So that would only be if you want to page, add alternate layout, tablet or phone. Then on those websites, you'd want to have this checked. Otherwise, make sure this is unchecked, either for the desktop version or if you're just working on a single breakpoint or on a single site with breakpoints. Okay, so now that I've gone to File, Add Files for Upload, and selected the 4 font files in the font folder of the widget folder, I can preview in the browser, and then if I click, we have the icons there. Looks good. So the other update, if you notice there's title and description here. The other update is that if we go to the Lightbox, or excuse me, if we go to the images here, there's no longer the caption ID. I know that was a bit confusing, so I took it out. So you no longer have to add a caption ID, and every image will have its own unique caption, its own unique title and description. And you can add alternative text here, and you can add a caption link here. And for the caption link, I've added information here on linking. So here, if you wanted to link to an internal page, it's /page name, the name of the page, .html, no spaces. And if there's a dash, then if there's a space, then you just replace it with a dash. And external pages is just the URL. So here I put an example, museforyoushop.com, and the anchor would be the anchor point here. Anchors, I don't know if I'd recommend anchors too much because you'd have to close the Lightbox gallery to see the anchor. You could add an opacity to the background of the Lightbox right here, so you could see the website scrolling in the background. But yeah, I just added that. That is an option there. So that's the other update. The caption ID has been removed, and that was in the 1.3 update as well. But the update that I really want to go over here is the ability to remove some of the icons up here. Some of you have asked me, can I remove all of these icons? And now you can. So if we go into the Lightbox section here, here are all of the options you can enable or disable. So you can enable caption above thumbnails or disable that, so the caption won't initially be on top of the thumbnails. You can disable autoplay icon, the counter on the left. You can disable full screen. Here, let me just uncheck that. You can disable zoomed and disable download, and you can disable mouse wheel, so it doesn't the Lightbox doesn't move with the mouse wheel. So I've just unchecked all that, so I'll preview in the browser, and if I click, now we only have the X up here. We don't have a counter, we don't have any of the icons, and if I move my mouse wheel, the Lightbox doesn't scroll. All right, and the captions aren't on top of here, but the captions are here at the bottom. But if you have the thumbnails here, the captions don't show on top of the thumbnails. So that was a request that a few of you have asked for. So now you can just have the X up here, which is really cool. You don't have to have the icons or anything up here. All right, so that was the other update to the 1.4 widget. And yeah, so let me enable mouse wheel just to showcase that a bit more. So you can enable or disable any of these options, to your liking for your Lightbox. All right, so here I've enabled mouse wheel, so now I can use my mouse wheel to go through the images. Looks good. So the next update, and this was actually an update, I think it was added to the 1.2, it was in the 1.3, but it's definitely in the 1.4 as well. Yeah, so as you can see, there's been a few updates. But the next update is the Google Fonts option here. So for the title and description, you can change the font for that. So here we can see it says Google Fonts. So if I click on that, it'll take me to the Google Fonts website. So here we can see we have quite a few different fonts. You can choose from a lot of different Google fonts here for the title and description. So let's say I wanted to use this bungee inline text here. So what I do, or this font, so what I do is click on the plus sign here. And right down here, we can see it says one font family selected. So I'm going to click there. So here we have the font family, and the name of the font is Bungee Inline. So what you can do is just copy this text here. You don't need to copy the semicolon at the end, but just copy Bungee Inline, just like that. I'll hit Command C to copy. And here we can see the name of the font is Bungee Inline. So you need the name and the font family, and the font family is here when you click on family selected, just like that. And you don't need to worry about this up here, this text up here. So now I'll go into the widget options. I'll go into the Lightbox, and for the Lightbox font family name, actually the first thing I'll do is paste in the Lightbox font family because I already copied that. So I'll hit Command V to paste, and here we can see it says Bungee Inline Cursive. So now I'll just copy the name of the font, which is Bungee Inline. So I'll hit Command C to copy, and then in the Lightbox font name, I'll say, I'll just paste that in there, Bungee Inline. So it needs the name, just the name, and then the font family, which is in kind of quotes here, and then it says cursive at the end, and you don't need to add the semicolon at the end there either. All right, so that's it for the font family, the font name and the font family. So you just want to enter the font name, and then when you click the plus symbol, you can select here, down here where it says family selected, and then copy and paste after font family. If you do add the semicolon after, it's okay, but you don't really need it there at the end. All right, so I've changed the font, so I'll go to File, Preview Page in Browser, click on the Lightbox, and now we can see that the font is changed for the title and description. And then I'll just go into the widget, and I'll say Lightbox, and I'll enable caption above thumbnails so we can see the caption immediately. Preview page in browser, I'll click, and there we have the title and description in that different font. So you can have a different font for the title and description. Looks good. So there's a Lightbox, and great. So the next thing I'll go over is the add-on widget. A few of you have asked me questions about this. The add-on needs to go below the Lightbox gallery or the thumbnails here and to the right. So I'm going to go to the library panel. I'll type in RLG, and I'll select RLG add-on images. So I'll click, hold, and drag and place onto my Adobe Muse website. So there I've added the add-on. So if I go to File, Preview Page in Browser, I now have 4 more images here, and I can click and we can see 4 more images here. They don't have images, that's why they're blank. But if I wanted to, I can go to the add-on and say 12 images. So just remember to place it to the right and below the Lightbox gallery. So I'll preview again. So I now have 12 images and another 12 images here. Looks good. The only widget that doesn't have an add-on is HTML5 video, and I did that on purpose because I don't feel that too much HTML5 video should be added to a website because it could really slow it down. So you can add 12 videos per page, 12 HTML5 videos per page. All right, so let's say I wanted to add 36 images, which again, I don't recommend adding tons of images, but if you did want to add a few more, you could just copy and paste the first add-on. And then because I want the add-ons to match this Lightbox gallery, so if we go into the gallery, we can see that the instance number is 1. Oops, excuse me. We can see the instance number is 1 here for this gallery. Keep clicking over there. And then if we go into the add-on, we can see the instance number. We want it to match the instance number of the gallery. And then the add-on instance, because this is the second instance of the add-on, I want to say 2. The first one here, it's okay if it says the add-on instance 1 because it's the first instance of the add-on. All right, so I'll preview in the browser, and now we're gonna have 36 images. So there's 36 thumbnails here. All right, and then if we go here, there's 36 thumbnails here as well. All right, looks good. So you can add quite a few images. Just make sure the add-on is below the gallery and to the right. You could even place it here, and that should work as well, just so it's off the website. Yep, looks good. All right, so there we have the add-on, and just to make sure, I like to place them to the right, and that just ensures that it gets added correctly. But as you can see, I put it to the left, and it's not there. So make sure that it's on the right and below the gallery, and you want to make sure that each instance has a new instance number. Each add-on instance has a new instance number. All right, so there we have the add-on widget. Looks good. And I will go over the YouTube and Vimeo videos really quickly. So I'll just create a new site, and I'll click OK. I'll double click on the home page. I'll say RLG, add first, place it at the top of your Adobe Muse website, and I'll do YouTube and Vimeo videos with the poster image. All right. Oops, select the add-on. So here we go, YouTube and Vimeo videos. So everything is similar to the images, except here you can add the video URL. You can choose a Vimeo link or a YouTube link. And then for the poster image, I have a few images here. So let me just find those images. Yeah, here, and video images. So you can just add, videos for the poster image for your videos. I like adding poster images because when you preview in the browser, so I'll preview here, and I click on the thumbnail, it just has a nice quality poster image here, and then the thumbnails get automatically added here from the video. Obviously these poster images don't correspond to the videos here, but you can match them. You can add the poster image to the correct video, and then you can just go through and watch the videos there as well. And you can add more YouTube and Vimeo videos with the add-on, and the same with the add-on with poster image. So I'm not going to go over all of this again, because it's very similar to the images. The images widget, you just, for this one, you just need to add the YouTube link and the poster image. Or if you don't want to have the poster image, you could just do YouTube and Vimeo videos. And again, I selected the add-on, so let me do YouTube and Vimeo videos. You still need to add thumbnails for this widget, but if I preview in the browser, we can see that it uses the video poster image, which is a little bit less quality, but if you don't want to go through and have a poster image for these videos, it would just use the YouTube thumbnail image. All right, looks good. So that's the YouTube and Vimeo videos, and with HTML5 video, you can just drag that in, and then you would just need to add an MP4, WebM, or OGG video for the video there. So let me see if I can find a video. Okay, so here I have a video, so I'll just select that, and then I'll select the thumbnail. And I'll preview in the browser. Click on the thumbnail, and there's the video. So I can play, we have this nice video playing, and you will be able to seek once it's uploaded to a live server. All right, looks good. So you can have up to 12 HTML5 videos. Yeah, HTML5 videos per page. All right, looks good. So I'll go back to the images widget here. If you have any questions about the YouTube and Vimeo videos or the HTML5 video, definitely feel free to ask me in the comment section below or in the community section on the widget page. All right, so there we have the Lightbox gallery. So the other thing I was getting asked about was elements not moving down the website. So when you're working with the Lightbox gallery, sometimes you'll have this extra space here at the bottom. So we can see the widget container is really large. So what I want to do is click, hold, and drag, and just drag it all the way up to the bottom of the widget or the thumbnails. And we're going to see it resizes around the thumbnails. So now the widget container isn't very large. So if I draw a rectangle here, just like that, it'll move the rectangle down. So there's the, yeah, so as we can see, the rectangle is below the Lightbox gallery, and it stays below it. So let me just take off these add-on widgets here, these two here, and we'll preview one more time, and we can see that this this rectangle stays below the Lightbox, so it doesn't stay on top. So you just want to make sure that the widget container doesn't go past elements below the thumbnails there, by just dragging up the widget container and dragging it all the way up. So here, if I add a breakpoint, we can just we can see that it still moves the rectangle down on the breakpoint as well. All right, so I'll add one more. There we go. And it's just loading the thumbnails. Okay, so that rectangle stays below the Lightbox. So just wanted to cover that because I have been asked about things moving down when the Lightbox resizes. You just want to make sure that the widget container of the Lightbox is below the thumbnails and not stretched, like really large, which sometimes can happen when you're adding different images or when adding the widget to Adobe Muse. So I think I've covered everything with the Lightbox gallery. I have had a few questions with this widget. It is really great. It just looks really nice, and it's a nice way for users to go through images or videos on your website. So hopefully I covered all the questions that might have been asked with this widget. It is now the responsive Lightbox gallery widget 1.4. You can remove the icons, you can change the font, you can have the thumbnails be below the the captions be below the thumbnail so they don't show initially unless you bring down the thumbnails. And you can style all the colors of the Lightbox here in the Lightbox option. You can change the animation, so I can do like some really interesting animations. So let's do let's do like a skew animation. Some of these are really interesting. So I can click, let me close them, or yeah, we'll preview now. Oops. So I'll go through. We can see it has a skew animation there. I'll close these windows there just for now. Lightbox, and we can do something like skew cross. Just like that. Go through it. And we have some really fun animations there. Awesome. And one more just for fun. Let's do scale up. Go to File, Preview Page in Browser. There we go. It scales up nicely. All right, so those desserts are making me hungry. They look good. Again, these images were from unsplash.com. It's a great website for free images, free high resolution images. All right, and we can bring down the thumbnails here, title and description. It looks good. Okay, so I think I've covered everything. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. You can leave them in the comment section below or in the community section on the widget page. So to get access to this widget, you simply go to museforYouShop.com. And here you can click on the pop-up, and here you can click subscribe to get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year. Or if you'd like to subscribe with PayPal, you can click here and subscribe with PayPal. The responsive Lightbox gallery widget is right here. Here you can click add to cart to purchase individually, or here you can get access to all widgets and any new widgets I come out with for $39 a year. And I've recently come out with a few widgets here, these hover boxes, which I really like working with here. We have some nice hover boxes for more styling to your website. So just wanted to mention that. I'll be coming out with a few videos on these as well. But these hover boxes can add a lot of styling to your website as well. All right, so we have the side text hover box, the panel reveal, center circle hover box, just like that. Can do a lot of fun things with these hover boxes. Awesome. We have that hover box, the crosshair hover box, just like that. Looks good. I'll be doing some videos on this as well. I did the video for the double panel hover box. So you can add a nice hover panel just like that with text, and you can link these hover boxes to internal pages, external pages, or anchor points. If you are linking to anchor points, I would recommend the anchor point scrolling widget to kind of work with the easing there. All right, so yeah, I've gone over that. So back to the Lightbox gallery. Here's the preview page. Here are a few of the widget options, a few of the videos. I'll post this video here once it's finished. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in the community section, and I'll be happy to answer them. You can also ask me in the comment section below, and I'll be happy to answer those questions as well. All right, so that's it for this video tutorial. Again, I do this to help you build awesome websites without code. I was really happy to do this video tutorial because I have had a few questions with this widget. So hopefully this covers all of them, and if not, definitely feel free to ask me either through email, comment section below, or in the community section on the widget page. So again, I do this to help you build awesome websites without code. If you like this video tutorial, you can subscribe below. Also in the show more section below are links to other resources and links to museforYouShop.com. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video tutorial. Also, for everyone who's going to Adobe Max, I'm really excited to do my lab and presentation. So I'll see you at Adobe Max. Take care.